my lovelies, it's your girl Mel. Welcome back to my channel. We are here with mommy, so now I already know say it's another story time with mommy. Story time with mommy. So we're going to not necessarily backtrack.
It's about the time.
Yeah, it's in the same proximity of, you know, Mayumi coming back to Jamaica and stuff, but before she came back there was, you know, one thing that she did, and this story time is just a bit more about what was going on in my life. You know, my school life. So we're going to go a bit more in depth with that because, you know, by then I was like in 10 and 11th grade, so, you know, the last 2 years of high school, which those are the most important ones according to society. So yeah, that's what we're basically going to get into. But before we jump into that, I'm going to have to tell you one little story. I mean, nothing much was happening in school time, you know. There was nothing else really dramatic or drastic that I need to mention. But one of the stuff that I remember what we never like, so we have to do is we had this agriculture class. And for agriculture class, you know, at first they make we plant up some sitting, you know, showing us say, hey, you can plant stuff and grow this and blah 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 whatsoever. So every student had to plant something and dig out a hole, and that's all fine and dandy. I think then like a few days later when we had class again, this time we had to deal with a chicken. We had to slaughter chicken.
A live chicken?
Yes. The boys,
I never knew that story.
The boys were the ones who, well, you know, they were the teachers and whatever. But the boys had to, you know, do the act of killing, and the females, they end up happy after they dip them in a hot water. After they dip them in a hot water, we females had to, you know, pluck all the feathers. I never like it not one bit, you know, seeing how it was done on them, you know, when you cut them and whatever, them and flock around the place and the blood going all over and stuff, and they're hanging upside down and stuff like that to drain. And I didn't like that. I never liked the scent when they're going at the boiling water, and then we are there having to pluck chicken. I don't even think we had gloves or anything. I don't remember, to be honest. But me never like it. I'm like, why is this a class activity? We had to do it, you know. We had to do it. That is the worst part. So I understand that is like part of, you know, our culture as well. So it's not far-fetched or anything, but that was kind of just, you know, one of the weird things I remember having to do in school. But yeah, otherwise from that, you know, the other stuff were just regular. Your girl still didn't like English class because too much writing. Your girl still didn't like literature class because too much reading. I was more into the science, you know. I was doing bio and physics, the love of maths, and yeah, you know, I was just being the student I was being, you know, trying my best and doing the work like how it needed to be done. And, you know, I mean, I think that happened in 9th grade, because in 9th grade is when they give you like 16 different subject areas for you to basically test out what it is that you like, and then in 10th grade you would choose what field you would want to go into. Yeah. So yeah, if it's science or business or arts or I don't know what else, because we did some woodwork as well, and we basically, you know, tried out a lot of stuff. So I went into the science direction, but I still had like, you know, one business subject as well, which was POB, which is Principles of Business. So that was one subject. I don't know why I keep you, but I still did it because I didn't do any chemistry. So I guess that was just me balancing out the number of subjects I was doing. But yeah, at that time, so in 10th grade was when, was I the one who decided to say, hey, I want to sit some subjects already? Or did you push me to do it?
No, I wouldn't do that. No, yeah,
okay.
That was you decided to do that.
So
I was actually astonished. And before we continue, let me just say a few little things about her, how to say it, her conduct towards school. Because what actually happened is I was immensely astonished how much she started to be interested in school, learning. Like before every test she would stay up the night and learn and the next day she would just fly in school and do the test and pass.
That's called procrastination.
It's called procrastination on one side, but on the other side, at least she did study and at least she did take her time, even if it was shortly before. But honestly, my 3 other children never had really any form of ambition in school. So when I saw how she was performing, I was like, wow, where does this come from now? This is so unusual. So of course I was pleased, because the first time one of my children really showed any form of interest in something like that. I'm not saying that the others, like the 2 boys, they were interested and they did good in school, but they were not ambitious. Mayumi hated school anyhow, so for her it was like, hey, I want to get out of here. But she suddenly is like, oh, I have to study. And then she would sit down and really study. And I was like, whoa, are you really my child? So I found that extremely interesting and encouraging. And that's when she just asked me if I would have practically forced her to take those subjects 1 year early. No, I would never do that, because I was so supportive for her, seeing that she was trying hard. So when she came and said, Mommy, can I do those subjects already? I said, are you sure you are 1 year early? You know, so I was like, and she said, yeah, I want to do it. And I said, all right, you know. So back to you.
And don't bother things. I hated school too, yeah. I did not
Why
like.
she didn't show it?
I didn't like school. I just went and did what I have to do, and then as soon as school over,
she didn't show it?
I left the school compound and go about my business. Like, I didn't stay on school. I didn't do any extracurricular things, really. So I wasn't the type to be on the school compound or anything like that. But yeah, I think the thought just came to me saying, hey, why not just do some subjects already, so you have, you know, more time for the other subjects in 11th grade. So at that time we were living in Norwich as well, and there was actually, like, they had like evening classes for people who wanted to sit the exams, even people who have left school already but didn't accomplish those subjects as yet and stuff like that. So there were a lot of different age groups. I had big people, because the subjects I took in 10th grade were English and maths, so those were like the most important subjects for someone to take overall, because for any job at that time, and even up to now, yeah, they always say you have to have like a maths and English as a subject. The rest is, you know, good if you have it, but it's not necessary. So I said, okay, let me just get it out the way. So there was this church in Norwich, right at Ranch Hill, and I think, was it every evening or 3 times for the week or something, or 2 times for the week, I don't know, but yeah, it was like an evening class. So we would go there every evening for like 2 to 3 hours to do the maths classes. And I don't think I went to any English class. I just studied my book for that. But the maths classes, I had like neighbors that were also doing it. They were much older than me, and you know, all of us would meet up and go to class together and come back together, because we were literally neighbors. They were living across from me and then a little bit down the road and stuff. So I guess that was a bit of the motivation as well, because I had people close to me that were doing it. And yeah, but the thing is with doing subjects here in Jamaica, you have to pay to sit those exams. So you basically have to pay to go into the examination for you to be able to end up have that subject in your name. So if you can't pay your money, you can't sit the subject and you cannot have it later on in life. So at that point, I think we
had difficulties in the business. It was like bills. What always happened, I mean, bills are rising, and then for some reason we had less customers at that point in time. We were really struggling, and that shop now had to provide for everything, like the rent of our house and everything, the rent for the shop. So that shop had to basically bring in money, double money, and it was the money was very, very low. I mean, we could barely survive at the time. So seeing that, bringing up that money now, and the subjects are not really cheap neither, you know, and then you have to pay entrance fee and this fee and administration, blah blah. So it's not only the subject fee you pay, you have other fees as well. So it added up to quite a good amount. I don't remember the exact amount anymore because it's quite a while ago. But for that time and our situation, it was practically undoable.
Yeah, so I think at that point, I'm not sure who had the conversation, but my Yumi was still in England at the time and working and stuff. And I don't know if it was me or mommy who mentioned it to her, but she was like, all right, I'll send down some money for you to sit those exams. So she ended up doing that, and that's how I was able to pay for those 2 subjects, and you know, was able to go and sit the exam, because even for the evening classes, they were not free, I think.
No, we had to, at least we could scrape that.
Yeah, because you would pay for each class that you go.
When you go, you pay.
So that wasn't bad. But yeah, so the time came around, your girl, you know, I'm a big, when it comes down to studying, it don't make no sense. Me take up book 5 days before exam, because when you reach the second day, the last day before exam, me not gonna remember not what me read 5 days ago. So I literally cram everything in my head, like in the last 2 nights, I would say.
Yeah.
But I'm pulling all-nighters. Like, I'm barely getting any sleep. I'm studying throughout the entire day, and that is just how my brain was functioning. And that went straight through till me done my bachelor's degree. Like, it never changed. Now, every year, you know, when New Year's would come around and people would say, all right, you know, this year I'm going to do it this and that way, because the new semester would start. And I'm like, all right, me I go try start, you know, prepare myself from early, start studying from early and make it easier for myself, because every time I would be stressed out. I mean, no say that gonna happen to me, but me just can't do it. I don't know why, but it never worked. And when I was in uni for 4 years, I think the last 3 years, I kept on saying, I gotta start earlier, I gotta start early. It don't work at all. So every single time it was the last 2 nights. But yeah, so I did the same thing. Maths was fun to me, so you know, I was just there practicing away and you know, listening to music, because when you're doing maths, I don't really need to focus that much. So that was fun to me. And then English, I don't remember if I did even do anything for English really, because what is there to do? So yeah, the time came around to sit the exam. I went in, you know, super nervous and stuff, because it's the first time you're sitting like an important examination like that actually has an impact on your life. here in the Caribbean. And yeah, I went in, sat the exams. You have 2 examinations for each subject. So one is the theory, so you know, a lot of writing and formats, calculating and stuff, and then the second examination would always be a multiple choice. So you know, multiple choice is always easy. If you don't know, you just say either be the more.
If you have a little common sense, you can eliminate
and guess. So yeah, you know, I sat them, and then I think the examinations would always be around June, July, or May, June, I think. Yeah. And then the results would come out in, I think, August. So, you know, results came back in August, and your girl passed both of her subjects with a grade 2, which I was proud of, because basically I drew a whole year ahead. You know,
your time to learn more.
Yeah, I had to learn still, because in school I was still learning all of the 10th grade stuff, and then at the evening class I was like trying to focus on the stuff that we would learn in 11th grade, because for those subjects 10 and 11th grade is where you learn all of the content you need for the exams. So I was cramming 2 years into one. So with the grade 2, I was, you know, the best grade you can get is a 1, so I got the second best grade in both those subjects. So I was off the hook with that. I was super happy and excited. So then 11th grade came around, and this time I was actually sitting, you know, I had 6 subjects left to do. You know, the year continued. Luckily, because I had those 2 subjects already, any maths class or English class, your girl had nothing to do. I stood outside because my teachers knew. I was super cool with my maths teacher anyways, and she was like, oh yeah man, go and do what you do. So I was either outside doing something, or I would still sit in class and just chill around the back and, I don't know, do something. Or you know, I would be there,
what a life,
talking to the teacher or something, because me and her were super cool. So yeah, that was pretty much those 6 or 5 subjects I have left. But in the middle of 11th grade, I don't know what flying off in my head, but me say, hey, I have science subjects, which is physics and bio, and I had 1 business subject, and you know, the next business subject is accounting. So accounts, me go take up accounts now. Say
in accounts is a bit like maths anyhow.
Yeah, but there's a lot of rules and sheets, and you have to know if you calculate this and that. So in the middle of 11th grade, I took up accounts because my POB teacher was the same teacher that taught accounts, and you know, I was super cool with her too. So me take up accounts in the middle of 11th grade. So mind you, 1.5 years me no know nothing about accounting, you know. Me go take up, and me I go sit the exam. So I crammed everything from accounts in my head within like a half a school year. And this time I was sitting around 7 subjects, and you know, each subject the cost, I don't know, if I remember correctly, at least like probably $3,000 or something. I think it came up to something over 20,000 Jamaican dollars for the entire thing.
That was, of course, about
more than what it's now. Yeah,
double of what it is now. So
yeah, because that is
40,000.
2012. Yeah. So we're talking like, you know, 10 years ago. So, and on top of the subject fees, you have to have entry fee and some other registration fees, and one whole heap of money you have to pay if you go and sit the exam. So we were pretty much in the same predicament of not having enough funds and stuff like that. And I think there was this time where we were in the same farming building where we had our restaurant at the moment, and we were at the back, and I don't know where we were coming from, but we actually end up seeing my father right there and then. and we stopped with him and we were talking to him and stuff, and then mommy was mentioning, say, hey, you know, Melody needs to sit these exams, would you be able to help out, because I really can't afford it, and she wants to, you know, sit 7 subjects this year, and it's basically going to come up to this and that amount, could you help put towards it? And he said, yeah man, me willing to buy, I think he said few days later, yeah, me will link on with the money, no worries, no worry about him, we will sort it out and stuff. And the thing was, that was pretty close to the time where you had to pay, because they gave you a deadline, by this and that day you have to pay for all the subjects.
We have tried, of course, to bring up the money.
Yeah, you have to pay until that time, so it was pretty much close to the deadline that we had. And you know, the time came around where he said he would pop up and stuff, and can't get in contact with him. He he's nowhere to be found. Doesn't pick up the phone. Where he's normally at, you can't find him there, nothing. So we were basically, you know, stranded again after he made another promise of, you know, helping and him being there for me. But of course,
and mind you, he had never ever paid a cent for her tuition or anything.
Yeah, nothing at all towards school or
so it
anything.
was not that he would have to bring up extra money. No, that would have been the first time for many years that he would have contributed to her life.
Yeah. So you know, I had a little slither of hope, saying, because he was like, yeah man, me promise me I go get it for you and stuff, man, because you know, yeah me bright that I remember all the years before, every time I came first or second in class, he was the same one bragging about me in the streets, saying, oh
my intelligent daughter,
my daughter is so bright and stuff, like she's really smart and stuff. So I was like, all right then, you know, you're out here bragging about me, so come help me and be a part of at least this, you know, important part of my school life. And yeah, so that fell through. And at the time, my sister, which is his older daughter, I
think you talked to her.
Yeah, I spoke to her. We were in contact. I don't remember if it was a phone call or messaging or something, but I spoke to her as well. And you know, she lived in England at the time. By them time, it's 2012, so Mayumi was back in Jamaica with us, and you know, I spoke to her and told her,
and had a child or 2 already, I think, at the time.
Yeah, I don't.
Anyhow, she was married to a guy who was into the movie business a bit. Yeah.
So what did we call her? Sandy. So Sandy, that you have heard from the previous stories, that sister. Yeah, so I spoke to her and she was like, yeah, no problem, I can help you out with that, because you know, she wanted to see me succeed in what I was doing. So she stepped up in that part, and I think she did cover all of the costs for those subjects.
I think she sent a few £100 at the time, and that could cover everything.
Yeah, so we
were like,
yeah,
thank you,
because it's really, as a student, it's really stressing to know that you want to do something but you're not capable of coming up with the funds to do it. And I know that there are a lot of people who feel that way when it comes on to those
and sadly quite a few cannot make it, and although they might be super intelligent and super good in school, but they cannot bring up the money, and that is cruel, because I mean, it messes up your life basically. So yeah,
you know, there because I've seen it in those time as well, where people where they gave you an extra time where you could, you know, pay after the deadline, but there's a late fee you have to pay. And so it's just like, people couldn't come up with the money in the first place. How are they supposed to pay a late fee? Like, it's ridiculous. And for it to be something so vital, especially here in the Caribbean, because every Caribbean country sits these type of exams, they still exist to this day. and that is basically what helps you to be able to go to university and study to get a better job later on in life. So you have to do it. If you don't do it, then basically you're kind of doomed. So for it to be something so important for this society, I think it's kind of harsh that you have to pay that much money for you to be able to sit those exams. Remember, you have to pay a school fee for the whole entire year already at your school. Then on top of that, you have to pay fees to sit an exam for you to be able to go on in life. Like, that is ridiculous. Like, they should cut down on it somewhere, somehow.
Yeah, just some administration fee maybe, but
yeah, but give the people a chance to be able to better themselves in life. Because if you grew up in a one poor house, there's no way you're going to be able to come up with those funds if you don't have help from somewhere else.
Because mind you, within the school year, you have to pay for the uniforms, for the transport, for lunch money, for books, for whatever else is
so the entire time you're trying to find money anyways.
Exactly, you have to find money on a daily basis to send your children to school.
And it's just ridiculous. And I can't imagine even now with food being more expensive than back then, taxi fare being more expensive than back then. You can imagine how those people are struggling now. Like, it's just ridiculous to think about it that way, because especially, for example, in I don't know how it is in the States, if they have to pay to sit an exam or anything, but in Germany, for example, you don't have to do any of that. You sit your exam and you have it and you continue your life. So yeah, basically the time came around again where I was cramming everything. The way how those exams are set up as well is you have them in a close proximity. So you have
like
say Monday. I don't remember. I think so. Yeah.
7 subjects, that would take about 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think some close to that. So you would even have a theory exam in one subject in the morning, and then in the afternoon you have a multiple choice in the next subject. So that was pretty much how it was set up. So, you know, I was cramming everything together all at once. It's not like I could focus on this subject and then get it out the way and then go to the next subject and focus on that one and then get it. No, I had everything together in one. Them time me in my room, lock up, just a study all night long. Barely getting any sleep and stuff like that, but you know,
She looked like a ghost.
I still got it done. And yeah, sat all those exams. So mind you, at this point it's IT, bio, physics, principles of business, accounting and literature, and I think something else. What else?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. Something else. One other something. But no, I don't think it's so yeah, I sat all of them, and you remember the accounts when we pick up in a Migla 11th grade? I sat in that examination, theory examination, yeah? And me start see them bring out certain type of paper. So those were sheets of paper that belonged to a specific question in the booklet that we had to do. So, you know, we had like, I don't know, probably 9 exam questions that we had to cover, and then we got like 3 to 5 extra sheets which all look different, you know, the leisure sheets and for the accounting stuff to calculate whatever. Me not know which sheet belonged to which question. I had missing a sheet, and I said, Jaja God, me not know where them are find out. I look at those questions, I'm like, how the hell me fi know which sheet me fi calculate what on? They're all just sheets with lines. Like, yeah, this one set up with a 4th grade sheet line. The next one have more, but I don't know which one is for what. And I was like in the exam, like stressing out. And I'm like, Jesus. Me not know where the sheet is for. But the way how that examination was set up, I think before the exam started, because they already handed us the booklets, you know, covered up and stuff, but we could see the sheets, they were just open. And before the examination started, I think I was able to ask my neighbor, I say, yo, what you calculate pan this? And what you calculate pan this? So that person kind of helped me out, saying, you know, that I don't remember anything from accounts, trust me. For sure, you say it was crammed within a short period of time and nothing stuck in my head. Yeah, they basically kind of helped me out and say, yeah man, just calculate that penny. And then when I went into the booklet, I just jot the number of the question pan the sheet, so I know say, all right, this belong to that, that belong to that, that belong to that. So I went and sat the exam. After that exam, I was like, I don't think I did anything right, because I had no clue if what I was doing was correct and if I actually used the right sheets and stuff. So after the exam, I'm like, me feel that one here, but hey, I'm my science subject then for rely upon, so I'm Gucci. Sorry. So yeah, I sat all the exams and all of the rest was, you know, okay and fine. I knew what I had to do there. And then the time came around in August, but our graduation was before that.
No, not before that. That couldn't be.
Yes, it was in July.
So how would they have?
They do it based on the school, not the CXC.
Yeah.
So within that same year, so mind you, exams was May, June, and then in July, you know, your girl was graduating high school, you know, graduation time came around. Mommy and Mayumi were the ones who came to my graduation. Yosha was in the States at the time, I think.
Nikki was gone too.
Nikki was gone as well, so it was just Mommy and Mayumi.
The father wouldn't be interested anyone?
I don't think we even invited him.
Yeah, I
don't think I did that. After him let me down on the subjects, no. I didn't have anything else to say to him. So yeah, so that was another fee that had to be covered, because you have to pay for the graduation ceremony and stuff. Yeah, so but we were able to do that one. And my boyfriend at the time was also at the graduation. So you know, graduation came around. I'm going to
let me tell that
start
part.
Inserting
let me tell that part.
I'm going to be inserting some pictures as well, so you can see what Mommy said she wants.
Yeah, I would love to talk about that, because there was this how you call it, auditorium place, and whole heap of chairs, a lot of parents. The place was full. There's the stage, and on the stage there's this podium, and then the principal would be there, and I think 1 or 2 teachers or something.
Well, there were guests up on the stage,
or some guests as well. So basically the usual program that you have for these things, like prayer, this, and a few speeches, that, and so on. So finally it came to prize giving, like
the award ceremony section. The awards ceremony.
Yeah, not prize, awards. You would get awards, right? So we were sitting there. Melody was sitting with us, of course.
No.
Oh no, you were.
I was at the front. You guys were.
But you were down. I
was on
on no podium.
No, I was at the floor, but I was in the front with all the other graduates.
True. So now the principal started now to read. So this award for whatever subject it was, Melody Bevan. And Mayumi, you know, and she's always very loud when she's happy. She what, you know.
So basically what they did was, for every subject they had in school for 10 and 11 grade, they would give an award to the best performing student in that subject.
In that subject for the year, exactly. So first subject, my daughter get called, and I was like, yay! proud of her, you know. So she went up and she got her trophy and
had to take pictures, shake hand with the
shake hand
principal
with everything,
or whoever.
you know. So she went back down. So it came to the second subject, Melody Bevan. So she got up, walked up back on the stage, same procedure again, you know. And then she went back down, and I think the third subject was another person, and that person went up, and the same procedure. Fourth subject, Melody Bevan. So she went up, same thing. So the principal looked at her and said, you know, you might as well stay up here.
Yeah, but I didn't, I wasn't, because I was basically halfway down already. So I saw them signaling me, said just stay right there, so just stay right there. So
no, he said out loud, you might as well stay here. That he said it out loud, and everybody was laughing at the time.
I didn't even hear that, but I was like, because every time I walked down back and sat, and then basically by the time I sit on my I have to get over. And then, you know, they were just like, just stay right there.
Yeah, seriously. You might as well stay here.
At first I didn't understand what they were saying, so I went back to my seat and they called me again, and then when I went up, that's when they were just like, alright, just stay which part you're there right now. So you know, I got the rest of the trophies. And I actually still have those trophies, so I'm going to show you some of them. So remember when I was saying remember I started school in 8th grade, right? So when we came back to Jamaica, I started high school here in 8th grade, and they put me in the lowest 8th grade class, and then I improved to 9
within 6 months.
The best 9th grade class within, you know, a half a year or so. So my first award, this is what I was always talking about. My first award was Most Outstanding Student Grade 9, Melody Bevan, 2008 to 2009.
My God.
So this was what I was talking about. Like, you would be able to get these kind of stuff if you were performing good in your class. So this was kind of a motivation to me, say, oh yeah, you know, you're actually getting something for you being good. Because in Germany I didn't know anything like that. They don't do anything like that. So then here I have for 2011 first place. So I came first in my class in 2011. I think I got more than one of those, but I can't find the rest of them. But to the trophies that I received at the graduation, so I'm just going to start with this one. So this is Melody Bevan Outstanding Performance in 2012 Principle of Business. So this was one of the subjects I sat, and this was my trophy for that. So I was basically best in class for Principle of Business. Then I got, I not even know, I have to look on it. I got Outstanding Performance in Physics. So that is POB and physics under my belt. Yeah, can be proud of your girl. Then this is Outstanding Performance for IT. So that's another one. Then we have Outstanding Performance for Biology. So that was good. And then I also had Outstanding Performance for Mathematics. So you can imagine me collecting all of these stuff, right? They also gave us here graduation 2012. This was, everybody received one of these. But there was this extra trophy that only one male student and one female student would get, and that was the Girl of the Year or the Boy of the Year. And I was also the one to receive the Girl of the Year 2011 to 2012. So I was basically overall best performing in that time. So this was the biggest trophy that, you know, you could receive at that time. So that was kind of nice. But imagine me now, me sit down with the other graduates, right? I was trying to, see, me can't even take them up.
Carry all of them.
Imagine me, I was like sitting there like I was trying to hold it, and then I had my foot. Oh, See, I had my phone at the time, and I think I called Mayumi. Yeah, I called her, and I'm like, Mayumi, come pick up some of them. I feel, please, me can't hold them nowhere. And then she ran up to the front, and you know, took most of them from me. And I think mommy just said, you just saw Mayumi running down the aisle with a grin on her face, going back to her seat, saying, see, my sister do this, you know. And then there's actually a picture of her when she was sitting beside mommy. I don't know if mommy took the picture or who, but she was there posing with my trophies, yeah, like this.
Like a fear.
Like a fear on them. But yeah, she was like super proud of me. Mommy,
yeah, were, of course.
Mommy was as well. And yeah, my boyfriend at the time was there, as I mentioned. So, you know, I had my little support group, and it was nice to be, you know, acknowledged for actually doing, you know, a good work. And that was basically what really motivated me in that entire time to do good in my exams, because I like the feeling of being awarded for something. Who wouldn't be, you know, happy to be acknowledged for doing something good? So that was, I think, what was missing in the German schools for me. Like, it was just like, what may I do this for? Like, your own, remember, say, as a student, you're not gonna think, say, oh, in the future, me having this and that is going to pay off. You're not gonna think that far necessarily. But if you are in the moment getting awards like this, I think that is more of a motivation for the students to do right and say, you know, so I want one of them there. If I at least one may I get, I want one. So I can put it on my wall and look funny. So that was pretty much the graduation ceremony. And then in August, all the results came out, and your girl passed all her subject them. She got all of them in 1s and 2s. I think I don't remember how many 1s and 2s, but I got all of them in 1s and 2s. And at that point, I actually had 9 CXC subjects.
Which is pretty much for Jamaica, the average is lower.
The average is 5, 6.
You have to have a minimum of 5 in order to go on
to graduate.
To graduate, in order to go on even get some other places later on to work or to learn. So that is the minimum.
Yeah,
and she had 9.
I had 9, and it was also important for me to get a good amount of subjects as well, because I was then planning on doing 6th form, which was formerly known as A-levels, O and A-levels. So that was grade 12 and 13. So I applied to go to Titchfield High School for 6th form, and yeah, I got through, and that was basically my next chapter in life of completing school. But that was year 2012 to 2014, so when I really reached this yet.
Nope.
But yeah, that was basically the end of my high school days. So you know, your girl go out with a bang. Listen, when I tell you the hair tridge come out strong that time there, people were talking, oh yeah, teacher's pet, that's why you get all of them trophy there, and this and that, and basically not acknowledging, so you actually do the work. No, because alright, they were like, I got along with most of my teachers. I wasn't up under them. I wasn't doing any extra stuff. I wasn't helping them out with any form of class work or not. No, I was a regular student. I just do my work and got good grades. But outside of class, you know, because especially my maths and my POB teacher, they were younger, so they were like in their 20s at that time, probably mid-20s, late 20s. So you know, they're like closer to my age. So we got along well. We could talk about a bunch of stuff and stuff like that. And then there were other teachers that just respected me because I was actually a good student and wasn't really doing anything out of line. So I didn't see myself as a teacher's pet, but probably other people saw it because we just had a mutual respect for each other. And But as I said, I wasn't doing anything out of the ordinary. I stay after school for help with nothing. Can I go straight to my yard, or I go to shop, or something. I not turn past school ground. I wasn't doing anything extra in class. Me do exactly what everybody else they have to do. I wasn't, you know, up under them helping them carry books or anything like. No, that was not me. I was just, I was silent basically. Even in class, me not put. You not get me to answer question in a class. I was silent. I was a silent mouse. Me not talk. So when teacher would be like, "Oh, who wants to answer this question?" I wouldn't be the one to put up my hand. You know, me hardly talk unless them pick for me and say, "Yo, Melody, answer that one." Yeah, then that's how you would hear something come out of my mouth. But otherwise, trying that I don't talk. So yeah, there was like just, you know, a little bit of. Me could have feel it, people looking at me and being upset
Envious.
I was, you know, collecting all of those trophies. Because at the end of the day, you have to keep in mind, I think overall there might be like, I don't know, maybe 12 subjects in total. And if me wanna collect for half of them subjects, they.
That was more than half.
I think that was like 6 of them, 6 or 7, I don't know. So say me collect trophy for half of them. You know, say only 6 of that students that get trophy, right? So it was quite funny, but I didn't care. I went out with a bag and was happy. And then you know, even after graduation, we had a little graduation dinner. And yeah, that was pretty much the end of my high school days. Yeah, that was my school years, you know, me making mommy proud.
Most definitely. Like I said, Nikki and Yosha, they got I think Nikki even more, he got some awards as well when he was in Teachit. He was pretty good in the last years. Yosha was above average, but not this excelling kind. But this girl, no, I mean, I was like, again, and another one. And another one, and I was like, "Whoa! My God!" I looked around like, "My daughter!"
Because I knew about some of those trophies from before. I didn't know about all of them, but I knew about some of them because, you know, we already get we report. I mean, we say, "Alright, it is me come first in class and stuff." Or I had the highest grade for that subject. So but I knew of some of them before, but they didn't have no clue. So to them it was just a surprise, and then just see me, I get called up. So it was quite funny.
Yeah, Mayumi couldn't stop. What is this?
Mayumi, I met very nice.
Holy banal.
But yeah, that is pretty much it for my school days. So, you know, we're completing that high school section of our story time. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.
Emerald, make this one.